Why your cat walks on you at night. It's not random. Your cat isn't just being annoying at 3 a.m. There's a reason they specifically choose your chest, your face, your bladder area. And once you understand it, you'll never look at your cat the same way again. So here's something most cat owners get completely wrong. They think when their cat stomps all over them at night, it's random. Like the cat just wanders around aimlessly and you happen to be in the way. No, it is not random at all. Cats are one of the most calculated animals on the planet. Every single thing they do has a purpose. And the middle of the night walk across your body, that's got like 5 different reasons happening all at once. Today, we're breaking all of them down. By the end of this, you're going to understand your cat better than most cat owners ever will. And honestly, some of this stuff is pretty wild. All right, let's start with the biggest one, because this is the one that kind of blows people's minds when they first hear it. Your cat walks on you because you are, to them, the warmest object in the room. That sounds simple, right? But here's where it gets interesting. Cats have a body temperature that runs a little higher than ours, somewhere around 38 to 39 degrees Celsius, so they're always looking for heat. And at night, especially in a room that gets cooler, you become basically a giant living heating pad. But it's not just that you're warm, it's that you're a moving warm thing. Cats can feel your breathing, they can feel your heartbeat, they can feel the tiny shifts you make when you sleep. And that combination, warmth plus movement plus sound, is deeply, deeply comforting to them. It actually mimics what they felt when they were kittens, pressed up against their mother and their litter mates.
So when your cat walks on you and then curls up somewhere on your body, they're not being dramatic. They genuinely feel safe there in a way they don't feel anywhere else in the room. You are their safe place. Now, the walking part specifically, that happens because they're looking for the best spot, the warmest, most stable, most comfortable area, which, annoyingly, often ends up being right on your chest or stomach, because that's where your core heat is concentrated, and that's where your breathing is most noticeable. Your cat isn't trying to suffocate you, they just found the premium seat. Okay, second reason, and this one is where it gets a little more behavioral. Cats are crepuscular animals. That's a fancy word that means they're most active at dawn and dusk. Not during the day, not in the middle of the night, but those in-between hours. Now, cats that live with humans have kind of adapted to our schedules over time, but they haven't fully adapted. Their internal clock still gets a little surge of energy around certain hours of the night, usually somewhere between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. And what do they do with that energy? They want to move, they want to explore, they want to interact. And here's the thing. You are the most interesting object in the apartment. You're warm, you're alive, you smell familiar, and sometimes you react when they walk on you, which to a bored cat at 3 a.m. is genuinely exciting. You moving around when they step on you is basically feedback. You're engaging with them, even if you don't mean to. So the more you react, the more you push them off or groan or shift around, the more interesting you become. You're accidentally training your cat to walk on you at night by responding to it. Wild, right?
Third reason, and this one is about something cats do that most people completely misunderstand: scent marking. Cats have scent glands in their paws, like right in the little pads. When they walk on something, they're leaving a tiny, invisible trace of their scent on it. Humans can't smell it. Other cats absolutely can. When your cat walks across your body, part of what they're doing is marking you as theirs. You belong to them. You are in their territory. And this isn't a dominance thing. Not really. It's more like ownership, in a very affectionate sense. They're saying, this human is mine. I am safe here. This is my place. Cats also do something called bunting, which is when they rub their face on things, and you've probably seen your cat do this on your face or your hands. That's the same behavior, leaving their scent, claiming you. Your cat literally walks on you partly because they want to cover you in themselves, which is gross and also kind of cute when you think about it.
Now let's talk about the social side of this, because I think this is the part that surprises people the most. Cats have a reputation for being independent, cold even. But the research on cat behavior has gotten really interesting in the last decade or so. What we found is that cats, especially cats that bond with a specific person, actually form deep social attachments. They care about where you are. They notice when you're not home. They adjust their behavior based on your mood.
And at night, when the house is quiet and there are no distractions, your cat has your full attention. Or at least your body does. You're lying still, you're not looking at a screen, you're not moving around or making noise. To your cat, that's actually a prime opportunity for closeness. There are cats that will sit near you during the day, but won't actually come and touch you until nighttime, specifically because nighttime is when things are calm and they feel like they can be near you without anything interrupting it. The walking on you is often the opening move. They're checking in, they're making contact. And if you don't shove them off, they'll usually settle somewhere on or near you for the rest of the night. Your cat doesn't understand that you have to be at work at 7 a.m. They just know that right now you are still, you are warm, and they want to be close to you. It's honestly one of the more pure things cats do. All right, fourth reason, and this one is probably the most practical one: hunger. Look, cats are not subtle creatures when they want food, but they are strategic. And a cat that has figured out that stepping on your face eventually results in you getting up and giving them breakfast is a cat that will absolutely keep stepping on your face.
This is called learned behavior, and cats are surprisingly good at it. If it worked once, they'll try it again. If it worked 10 times, it's basically hardwired into their routine now. This is especially true if your cat eats on a schedule, or if they used to eat on a schedule and that schedule has changed. Cats have an incredibly accurate internal clock. If they're used to eating at 6 a.m., they might start the wake-up process at 4 a.m., just in case, just to make sure you don't forget. The walking on you is step one. It gets worse from there if you don't respond. The good news is, this is one of the most fixable reasons. If you think hunger is part of why your cat is doing this, an automatic feeder set to go off in the early morning can genuinely be life-changing. Your cat redirects all that early morning energy toward the feeder instead of toward your spine. Fifth reason, and then we'll get into what you can actually do about all of this: anxiety and attachment. Some cats, not all, but some, walk on their owners at night because they're anxious about being separated during the day, or about changes in the home, or just because they have a naturally more anxious personality. The nighttime check-in is them making sure you're still there, still breathing, still their person. If you've ever noticed that your cat does this more when you've been traveling, or when something in the house has changed, or during certain seasons, that's probably what's going on. It's not aggression. It's not bad behavior. It's a cat trying to cope with something that feels uncertain to them. Cats that do this are usually also the ones that follow you from room to room, that sit outside the bathroom door, that notice the second you pick up your keys. They're deeply bonded to you, and nighttime walking is just one expression of that bond.
So what can you actually do about this if it's driving you insane? A few things actually work. 1, don't react. I know that sounds impossible when a cat is standing directly on your throat, but the more you respond, even pushing them off, the more reinforcement they get. The goal is to be the most boring, uninteresting sleeping object in the world. 2, give them something better to do. Playtime right before bed is probably the single most effective thing you can do. A cat that has genuinely worn itself out chasing a toy for 15 or 20 minutes before bed is a cat that has a much lower chance of needing to reorganize your internal organs at 3 a.m. 3, give them their own warm spot near you. A heated cat bed, a blanket that smells like you, something near your bed that gives them the warmth and closeness they're looking for without them having to actually be on your body. Some cats will make this switch surprisingly easily. 4, don't let them in the bedroom if it's really bad. I know, but sometimes this is genuinely the only thing that works. If your cat has not established the habit of sleeping on you, they won't miss it. If they have,
It might take a few nights of them protesting outside the door, but they usually adjust. Your cat walking on you at night isn't random, it isn't rude, and it isn't a problem with your cat. It's your cat doing exactly what cats do, looking for warmth, safety, closeness, and sometimes breakfast at an unreasonable hour.
Once you understand why they do it, you can either work with it or redirect it. But either way, you're never going to look at that little 3 a.m. foot on your face quite the same way again. If you want to understand more about why your cat does the specific weird things they do, subscribe, because we go deep on this stuff every day.